All right, we are live. This is so cool. Um, I guess this is like the pre-show of like a soccer game or a football game, and we're basically just talking a little bit about
Mhm.
life and what's going on. And but I think the actual live stream is now that it's live. We know I'm gonna send a tweet out so everybody is aware that we are live. Um,
Okay.
So, first of all, yeah, I guess we're just gonna see who logs in a couple of minutes
Mhm.
here. I'm just gonna do the typical marketing stuff. Tweet it, tell the people on Slack,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
because that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah. Let's go.
we need to get everybody pumped about our first live stream, and hopefully we get some people to ask some awesome questions today. And if we do get some awesome questions, then we're going to give some awesome answers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. Let's see. I have the chat open here so I can
Mm.
see if anyone comes in. I will say something in the chat like, hello, everyone. So at least we have that
Yeah. Me
synced
too.
up and we can get started in like 30 seconds. I know we have a little countdown if we wanted to use that, but we're happy to just do it the old school way with no countdown today. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, cool. Awesome. Perfect. We have the chat. Everything is working flawlessly. All right. So now that we know that everything works, that we're live, let's get started. I think I've
Yeah.
rumbled a little bit in the last 2 minutes, but this is our first live stream. It's the first live stream for March. We're aiming to do this quite regularly. And today, as the first guest, we have Levi, who's calling in, so to speak, all the way from Mexico.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about where in Mexico you're from?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm based in Mexico City. Here it's a really, really cool city. I'm at the south of the city, near to a place called Torre Manacar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am actually going to Mexico City in April. So if you're around, I don't know how far I will be, but we can go grab a drink and talk
Yeah.
about PixieBrix.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah.
be awesome. So
Amazing.
first of all, yeah, thank you so much for being here. I prepared some slides here. Today we're gonna have a little intro, like we just did. We're gonna have a little chat, talk a little bit about PixieBrix. What is it that you use it most for, and then maybe like dive into like some use cases that you've developed using PixieBrix to see what exactly have you built with PixieBrix. And then if anyone has questions or if anyone has some like feedback, we can talk about that. Feel free to like send this into the YouTube chat. That's where we're gonna field all of our questions from. And let's get started. So let's talk a little bit about ourselves, right? Like we're kind of like the stars of the show today. So that's me. I'm Orlando. I work at PixieBrix on the growth team as a developer advocate. And basically, my day to day, it's pretty much like building awesome things and making sure that people who are part of the community, users, and people who just like to build things like are successful. So that's pretty much what I do. And this is mainly the reason why I'm doing this live stream is to try to like connect with people from the community, but also I want to understand what are people using PixieBrix for and how exactly are they building things, extensions to make their life better. And I think we had a good time on the Slack, our community Slack, which is in the description of the YouTube live stream. And I will just post again just for clarity inside the chat room. And basically, I met Levi, and he's an awesome builder, like he said, from Mexico City. And he started using PixieBrix for like his own work. And he started automating a lot of things that made sense for his day-to-day routine. And I'm gonna let him explain what exactly
Yeah.
he's using PixieBrix for rather. But yeah, I saw in the picture you're holding a book. So Levi, can you tell us a little bit about what's that book about?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people that know me, they know that I'm really passionate about data. I I've been working a lot in learning how to share this knowledge about data to a lot of people. And this book was like a complete change of mindset about what I talk about data. Most of the information that we have in this book is focused on the messages that we got from the government. So it was
Okay.
so interesting to see that most of the visuals that we had seen while we were in the pandemic were really messed up. No, they were sharing information that was not exactly the truth, and that was manipulating and I don't know, creating different types of messaging for people. No, and
Yeah.
people was believing whatever they want and creating more and more crazy ideas around that. So this book is amazing if you want to discover more about the truth behind the data.
What's the name of the book?
This book is How Chart Lies from
Okay.
Alberto Cairo.
Okay. Awesome.
Everybody follow Alberto Cairo. He's amazing also.
Alberto Caedo. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, how chart light, getting smarter about visual information, right?
yes.
There's a link to Amazon. I will put into the chat. Non-affiliate marketing link, so we're not making money from this link. Go ahead, purchase. Everything is fair and safe out here. All
Yeah.
right, that's good to know about your passion for data, and then tell us a little bit about your passion for, I guess, PixieBrix. How did you discover PixieBrix?
Yeah, so well, I've been following a lot of people in YouTube that automates, and well, I think everything started with data. Now I wanted to learn more about how to create different visualizations, how to communicate this data correctly. But behind that, you know that you have to do a lot of manual things, no, like in databases, in Google Sheets, in Excel, in like all these other applications. So I think since I started my career, I've been super lazy in
Okay,
doing repetitive tasks. And
right,
all my life has been like, how can I jump some steps in different processes so I can do this faster and with a correct result. No, like
yeah,
even if I jump some of these steps, how can I do it faster?
right.
So I found this Anders Jensen YouTube channel also.
Yep.
I admire him so much.
Yeah,
So,
shout out to Anders
yeah,
Jensen's YouTube tutorials and YouTube channel. He's very big in this domain. That's
yeah,
definitely
yeah. And I saw that he started to share a lot about how to automate RPA courses and things like that. And suddenly PixieBrix appeared.
nice.
So
Yes,
yeah. From that moment, I was like, this is so easy.
the power of marketing right there. So that's awesome. Thanks for telling us about how you heard about PixieBricks. And it's true, like I think some of our focus is about making those repetitive tasks like faster, right, by creating your own extensions into the browser. And also the important thing is to get them right every time, right? So the data, like you mentioned, is like always comes out clean or as you expected, as opposed to like have like some manual work. Like when you do a task so many times, it's prone to
Yeah,
like break some workflows because you do a mistake. So easier to copy paste things than to just write them back, right? So yeah, that makes
yeah,
total sense. And I think we're gonna explore some of your favorite use cases in just a moment. Um, One last question before we jump into the use cases. What do you think will be the future of like automation? I know this is kind of like an open-ended question. And automation, it's a very dynamic word that I'm using here. It's all about, creating like repetitive processes, automating certain kind of workflows at work. What do you think about automation?
Oh, well, this is a really difficult question, but I've seen like in 2017, I was in a company working where I have access to a lot of different technologies, no?
Right.
And I was working in the talent acquisition team, and I was thinking, how can we have one single recruiter attending 1,000 candidates
Right.
and filling 200, 300 jobs without this painful process, no, that we have
Yeah.
in talent acquisition. So from there, I started to think on, okay, so how about we have video interviews, a software that can grab the audio, convert that to text, do an analysis on the text, no, like
Yep.
sentiment analysis or other deep analysis on the text, and like classifying this and doing all these crazy things. What I imagine right now is that automation will become something more. The computers will tell us what we can automate because we repeat that so much.
Okay.
That
Cool.
there are
Yeah.
other softwares like UiPath or Power Automate that
Yep.
can record your screen, each step of what you are doing, and then provide the insights about in which of these steps you spend more time, which of these repeat, like are, I don't know, clicks on your mouse, you write some things, you move with your mouse pad, I don't know, all these kind of things.
Insights. Got it.
Exactly. I
That's
think that
pretty
could be
awesome.
good.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely a lot of a lot of like opportunities for like companies that work in this space to like analyze workflows of humans and then suggest like improvements. So that's an amazing answer. Thanks for sharing that. I'm super pumped about the future, and let's see what happens, right? Like, see if
Yeah.
we were right 10 years from now or so, or maybe 5, who knows.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like also highlight the fact that your Twitter account is at Data Levi or Levi, and then that's your LinkedIn. And let me actually copy paste this into the chat for the people who want to follow you, so it's easier for everyone to just click on the link. So
Yeah.
with that being said, let's move to the next slide. And the next slide is jumping into the first use case of how you built your first extension with PixieBrix. So this first one is about integrating some HR functionalities that you use regularly inside Slack, I think. But I'm gonna let you speak, and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can take over, and we can dig right into it.
Right. So give me 1 second. Let me start sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, so I think the first thing about what I've been doing with PixieBrix is I support a lot of different teams in my current job.
Yeah,
And before this, it was really similar. I support different teams from HR. I provide different accesses to tools, remove that access,
right.
really repetitive tasks in that aspect. And sometimes people, I don't know, find some bugs in the system, and I do like workarounds so
Yep.
they can solve this. So let me start sharing here, and I will show you some of the things that I've
Yeah.
been doing.
All right,
Uh,
let's do this. I'm very excited. So you
yeah.
said you work in like in your company, you do a lot of like HR operations, administrative tasks, a lot of things that are like manual work. You're saying, right?
Yes. No. Yeah. 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 And
Okay,
it's
cool.
always like the same specific activity, like opening a tab, writing a page, accessing the page,
Right.
login, and do like these same things, even if they take like 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all day, no, all day long. Uh-huh.
Correct. So it gets very like frustrating to have to do the same exact task, like workflow all the time. So that's kind of like what brought you into PixieBrix is if I can find a way to do all this annoying work faster, then I can just focus on the fun part or the parts that are not
Yeah.
being able to be like, like shortcut, right? Like you can't take shortcuts for certain things. Okay.
Yes, yes, exactly. And that is specifically what we have here.
Yeah.
If you see, I have here like a Slack window. I'm logging in the browser,
Uh-huh.
not in the application itself, but in the browser. And
Yeah.
we have here like some buttons, but if you see these purple buttons here, I
Yeah.
will do a quick sum.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah. Thanks for zooming in. That's
mhm.
beautiful. That's the PixieBrix purple color, like the official hex code right there. Yep.
Yeah, yes, and these are buttons that I created like as you mentioned, like shortcuts. No, so
Yeah.
by clicking on any of these, I have a quick access to a specific web page, or I can do another action. No,
Right.
I have one here that I created like minutes ago, and I was like, at the end of the day, what I want to do, maybe just watch a video.
Yep.
So basically, if I click, it opens YouTube. No,
Oh, nice. All right. So
yeah,
it's
here you are
basically
here.
you created a you basically were able to customize your current the apps that you use on the day to day, right? So like in this example, you're using Slack on a daily basis to do the bulk of some of your activities, and you just said, what can I do to make a more enjoyable like usage of this app? Like what can I do? And you came up with some use cases like, oh, I always visit these websites, so why don't I just add these buttons? And that's the power of PixieBrix is you can add buttons to existing web interfaces, to existing websites. So, like you just demoed with the YouTube, do you have another one that you can show us that what other like shortcuts did you create? What other ones do you have there?
Yeah, so I think let me open this one. I
Okay.
have other applications here
Yeah.
that I'm using.
Uh-huh.
For example, this one.
HackerRank. Okay.
Yeah, so we use HackerRank, and I like have like direct access here, and it's pretty fast than going into HackerRank and then logging in. And
Yeah.
because HackerRank it's like two-page login,
Oh,
it's
right.
pretty cool.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you're basically speeding up your workflow by clicking on the button inside of Slack, and since you open that page quite regularly, you just added it there. I
Mhm.
think that's an amazing use case. Um, do you want to uh, move to the next use case, or do you want to talk a little bit more about this one? How do you feel? Because I think the next use case you have is a little bit like we can like analyze the actual bricks
Yeah.
inside of the page
Mhm.
editor, and we can talk about those.
I think the next one is like so cool because it will help a lot of people, specifically in HR operations, for
Uh-huh.
example, or
Yeah.
maybe IT support or other type of support areas.
Yeah.
Uh, I would like maybe to ask you, Orlando, if you can please ask me something here in the chat, and I
Yeah,
will
I will. Yeah,
show
for
you.
sure. Let's
Mhm.
make like this like an official like example. So
Yeah.
I'm going into the chat. We created our own little thing here, and I will ask a question like, "Hey, Levi, can you please show me how to, I don't know, like provision my account on PixieBrix?
Mhm.
Thank you."
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I receive a lot of these questions like every day. No, like Levi, can you give me access to this? Levi, can you solve this issue? Levi, can you do whatever?
Yeah.
So basically, what I did, and I was like really excited when I saw the PixieBrix extension, is that you can select text in your browser
Yeah.
and then add these into your current options. No,
Nice. Yep. The
and
the
one
sh-
of
the
the things
contextual menu, right?
Contextual menu, exactly, contextual menu. So we use Jira for many things, and I'm using this for like creating tickets, so I can have like a backup of what I'm doing every day, and also I can categorize my work into a specific
Right.
thing. No,
Yeah, you can
so
create multiple extensions to do different things and to run different
mhm,
workflows, right?
exactly, exactly. In this case, it's basically selecting the text, right click, going to the PixieBrix, and then click on your Pixie. No?
Aha. So it
And this
took
is
the text
incredible.
from inside the screen and now
Mhm.
it's opened up a modal. Okay, that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is a model like a form.
Uh-huh.
In this example, we only have like the text that I selected from here.
Right.
But there are other use cases where you can add a drop down where you can select options like
Right.
categories, for example,
Yep.
and then add any other type of whatever, no, like comments
That's right.
in your description.
Okay, cool.
And so we click submit here.
Yeah, what happens when you do that? You press submit. Oh, okay. So something else, another action occurred. Okay.
Uh-huh. And the cool thing is that we were here with the
Yeah.
form or the model,
Yep.
and by clicking submit, that creates the ticket and then opens Jira. So we
Nice.
can start work from here and then maybe say, okay, Orlando asked me this.
Cool.
Hey, Orlando. And then from
Right.
here we can continue doing like the activities. No, like in this case,
Yeah.
is show me how, and I will show you. No?
Yep. You can show me. Yeah. Perfect. And then you follow up. Perfect. So you're basically automating the whole process of creating tickets with information directly sourced from Slack. So that way you don't have to like navigate to Jira, create a new ticket, copy
Yeah.
paste it, tag it, etc., etc. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
and this is something most more in now that we have Slack or other applications like this. We
yeah,
know that there is a lot of people that will never go to your forms or
right.
ticketing system. They will just Slack you, no?
That's right.
And pushing them to maybe change the way they work will be more difficult than just automating this step, no?
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
see. Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. Why don't
mhm.
you show us how you built this extension specifically, the Jira one? Like, let's
Yeah,
dive a little bit into the page editor code, I guess.
perfect. So basically, let me open here. Uh-huh. So I have here the extension. As you know, you will have to open the console and DevTools to visualize here the PixieBrix extension. And the one that I have here is the one that we saw, no? Jira
Yeah.
Pixie.
All right.
The good thing, or what I really like about the interface, is that, as the name says, these are bricks,
Yeah.
tiny bricks that you can put on top of the other, and then these will be the actions, no, that you execute one after the other. I think in this case, I'm basically from this website. This is the context menu, so we are selecting there the text. Now this is saying selected text, so we are selecting the text.
Yeah.
Then we have the model. I think this is the form,
Right.
or well, how I mentioned the form. And I think this is one of the coolest things, that you can use the selection
Variables. Yeah.
from
So
the
basically,
previous step.
yeah, let me just like let's click on the context menu real quick because I think that's the first brick is the most interesting one, right? Because it's the one that starts the whole workflow. The whole extension is triggered by right clicking and selecting something from the menu, from the context menu, And then
Yeah.
here you basically gave it your custom name so that you can call your menu inside the browser, whatever you want, right? And then as you were explaining, if I understand this right, like you can basically tell PixieBrix to run this extension only on the website that is app.slack.com and then followed by any other route, right? And then you're also saying how if you highlight something, on the page, you can use that highlighted text into the form, right? And
Exactly.
and I think it's at input dot what is it, selection text or something, right? The
Yeah.
variable inside, yeah, selection text,
Mhm.
right? So anything that's highlighted by your mouse on the screen, like hard highlighted, you can now use that information to like do something, right?
Uh-huh.
And then once you created your little model, you can basically take that variable that contains the highlighted text and show it inside the model as like the body of the model. But the cool thing
Mhm.
about the model, like you showed before, is that you can customize it to do maybe 2 input values if you want, if you had more, or like some other text, or you can manually add some text there before you submit the model, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
how much can you customize the model? Like, do you just do paragraph text? Do you have some other options you can add? Like, how do you usually
Oh,
use it?
no, yeah. So we have here, like, we have the description form, but
Uh-huh.
also we have a label here. And you can even add like this field description, no?
Mm-hmm.
This is for HR tickets.
All right. So you
And
can give more context to the people who use the extension.
exactly.
Nice.
And this specific part of the model is, I think, the one that we have from this input type. So if we select any of these other options,
Yeah.
we can add no many other
Yeah.
options
We can
here.
customize for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that you made this a required field, but that means that you cannot
Mhm.
submit it unless it's got some value. But you also made it cancelable, right? Like you can abort the model so that if you made a mistake or you want to go back, this does not get triggered. That's the power of cancelable. Not too sure about the pronunciation of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
word.
So it's basically like you
Yeah,
select everything, but you don't want that,
yeah.
and
Oh
and
yeah,
then you see this like, oh, no, 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 that's
yeah.
cancel,
You
and
can
that's
cancel, right?
uh-huh.
Cool. I have another question. What about the next brick, the one that says create Jira issue? What does that do? Yeah, let's see.
Yes. So this one is specifically to create the ticket or the actual ticket in your environment, no, in
Uh-huh.
your Jira environment. So from here is basically just adding your environment, what type of, in this case, is a task, but you can
Okay.
add like other type of books,
Oh,
tasks.
nice.
Then
Yeah.
there are issues or, well, other type of classification here.
Uh-huh.
There
And I can
are,
see you can pass labels. So I
uh-huh,
think that is, I think Todd asked the question, like, can you pass fields with the ticket or just the description? I guess this is where you would go ahead and customize how the ticket would look on the other end by passing labels or changing the type. And maybe you have additional fields that you want to pass. I see that there's a grayed out field under description, right? That says additional fields, and I think that's what you would use depending on um, on what you want to achieve, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
thanks
yeah.
for the question. Yeah,
So that we have, well, Jira is extremely complex. So you have
yeah,
a lot of fields. Let me make it bigger here.
yeah,
This one, labels, for example, is the one that we were seeing here.
yeah. That's
So
right.
for example, if I'm, I don't know, these are my tickets. I maybe put my name here,
Uh
and I
huh. Yeah.
will use these ones. Maybe if I forget to put the reporter, I will get the
Right.
label now instead.
Yeah, or you can use them to categorize the type of the ticket, like say this is a Slack request, this is a request by
Mhm.
phone, this is an email request, whatever, right? Because the power of PixieBrix is you can do that trick of highlighting, right click, and sending on
Mhm.
any web app. So you can reuse this extension on multiple websites, maybe Gmail, maybe Slack, like you're using, and maybe something else, right?
Yes. Yeah, and so we have like here all the basic fields that we need to create this task.
Uh huh.
Um, I think one important thing to mention is that we need to create an API key
Uh huh.
in the Jira environment. So, would you
Yeah.
like me to show how to do that?
Yeah, you can show where you can find the API key from.
Mhm.
If yeah, let's just not reveal the API key. So for those who don't know, an API key is almost like your password for your
Mhm.
e-banking, your Gmail, whatever. It basically allows a system to act on your behalf and do certain operations, right? So if you use an API key and you by mistake release it, you release it in the wild, which means you tell the world about, hey, this is my password, and obviously there might be people out there
Mhm.
who are going to use your API key to like mess up with your projects. So never share your API keys with people outside your team, and even inside your team. Sometimes you should be wary of who you share that information with.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so keeping
Uh,
the security of your API key tied is very important. But that's how it works also in PixieBrix. We
oh,
basically ask you to provide your API key, and then the page editor uses the API key to do, like, for example, in this example, the Jira workflow where it creates a ticket on your behalf, right?
exactly. So it's pretty easy. You just have to go to your options.
Uh huh.
So click on your follow or here in the top right corner,
Yeah.
account settings.
Uh huh.
And then from here, we will go, I think it's on security. Yeah, here
There it
in
goes.
security.
API token, right? And you click there, and then you can create, manage, revoke, whatever.
Exactly.
Sweet. And then that API key gets added into the page editor, and it says
Mhm.
there, right? It says if you want to configure integration, click here. And if I'm not mistaken, that takes you to another page where you basically configure all your API keys, integrations, whatever secrets or variables that you might use for depending on the block. So we don't
Mhm.
have to show that now. Just I don't want to reveal any personal API key information. So let's
Yeah.
uh, let's keep exploring. So you do
Mhm.
this. You set up the Jira issue break, and then you pass the at form dot ticket description, right, as the
Mhm.
description of the ticket. So what that does, it tells the page editor to like go and analyze what data was stored under at form dot ticket description, right? And it basically puts it into the Jira ticket. Can you
Yep.
show us how to change the name of the output variable in the show a model or sidebar form? Like, for example, you don't want to call it at form, you want to call it at data or something, or you might call it whatever you want, right? Like, so it's up there. Yep, that's the one.
Exactly.
Like here, you can rename this variable anything you want. You can call it Bob, you can call it Billy, you can call it data. And then in the next step, right, what happens is when you go to transform, you have to change form to the new variable name, and that's just, yeah, data. And that way you basically customize the output variable so that you can keep track of what each output variable does, etc., etc., etc. That's,
Yeah.
I think, important to like highlight, because I think that's I call it like a power user move, I would call that, right? Like it's
Mhm.
something that once you use power, like PixieBrix a lot, you start giving names to things so that you don't get confused, especially when there's so many little bricks, one under the other one, like passing data up and down, left and right, between, below bricks, and or rather above and below, depending on how you see it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the
And
last brick there? Or sorry, were you saying something?
yeah, yeah. I think if you want to be really creative, you can use these additional fields
Uh-huh.
to maybe configure in other systems. For example, I use like these formulas. If
Uh-huh.
this name is Levi, for example, then this is Levi's email.
Got it.
So one of the options that we can have here is how we can create a property
Yep.
as an example, no? Like this is Levi, and then we have Levi at levi.com,
All
whatever.
right.
So
Sweet.
basically, the idea is that if this is selected in
Yeah.
the form,
Uh-huh.
then when the tab is open, you can use this as a trigger to open other tabs. No, like for example, if this maybe LinkedIn, no, or other application, you
Uh-huh.
can use this also as a trigger to open other, not only your ticket, but other tabs, no, or other systems. That's You
Okay.
can be so creative with this. That's what
Yeah.
I love.
You can definitely use the additional fields to pass on data to Jira and do other kind of things.
Mhm.
But let's actually, now that you mention it, like let's analyze like what's this brick? Open the tab. How does that work? And what exactly happened in URL? I see that there's like some brackets, some ads. What's that all about?
Yes. So basically, this open a tab, as we saw, when I selected the text created ticket and submit, then this new window was open
Yeah.
with my ticket now ready to start working. So basically, what this is doing is opening the page,
Uh-huh.
but then this variable, oh
Oh,
my God, I messed up everything. But
that's
basically, this
okay. If you
variable is,
press, actually, that's a power mover. Sorry, another power user move. If you press the reset button in the top right, it will reset your brick to what it was originally. So even if you made a mistake, then you can restore it.
yeah,
Voila.
this is perfect. Yeah.
Aha.
So yeah,
No?
I'm using this variable from the previous step also
Yeah.
to open the page with my ticket, no, with the one that I recently created.
Right. And I
Mhm.
guess dot key is that a number that you get from Jira?
Uh,
Right.
so from the output, let me
Yeah,
check.
we'd have to. I think we'd have to like run another ticket. So if you try and create another ticket from Slack, and then we'll see the output there. So let's highlight
Let me
it.
do the same.
Yeah, Jira PixieBrix, submit it, and now, yep, it opens it up. And now if you open the page editor,
There it is.
there it is. So you see the
Mhm.
type, the summary, the project key, the description, and then there is actual more fields. There's an ID for the ticket. There's a lot of stuff here happening, right? Like there's the URL there. Yeah. So you're using the key. Okay.
Yep.
Under configuration. Okay. Dot key. So it's like, oh, nice.
Mhm.
And basically you end up opening a new tab and it opens the tab on the whichever the key is. Oh,
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
So
So
that's how you pass data to a PixieBrix input field. You basically can use like the brackets and then the name of the variable. And then what happens in the background, the PixieBrix page editor will basically do some logic and will say, okay, this is a string, this is a variable. Let me combine the variable with the string and then run that as the URL.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the cool thing is that since this is always changing in the URL,
Uh-huh.
that is what the variable is doing now, grabbing that number and putting it here.
Yeah. You can
Mhm.
pass data in the URL dynamically. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's a pretty cool shortcut. And I guess this is the question that everybody has been waiting to know, I guess. The question is, how many times in a week do you have to do this? And I guess the question is, how much time do you save every time that you use a PixieBrix extension on a week?
No, no. So I think I receive around, I don't know, from 5 to 10 different requests every hour in the
Okay.
day. And I think by before using PixieBrix, it was like trying to push people to use my form, no, in Jira.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
please use this link to create the ticket. Then people forgetting and then getting back, this is urgent, please do it and I will open the ticket. And
Right.
so, so it was a bit difficult before, and I was spending like more time than I wanted on these activities.
Uh-huh.
After creating these new shortcuts and these new workflows, I think every day I'm saving around 2 hours. I think 2 hours, maybe 3 hours sometimes, because I
Uh-huh.
receive more requests maybe when people join, leaves, you know.
That
Uh,
makes sense. That's a lot of time. And I totally agree with you the fact that instead of changing the behavior of humans, you just made your work like more streamlined, right? So people can come in, use the human behavior that they use, which is like communicate over Slack. And you just said, you know what? Instead of changing their way to do work, I just made my life better. I don't
yeah,
have to change other people's mind. I change the way I, use the software to be more flexible, more automated, more powerful to you. So
yeah,
I
more
think that's
efficient.
incredible.
I think yes, yes.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to share on this use case, or should I take over the screen?
Yeah, no, so I think this is it. The great thing is that, as I mentioned, once you, for example, open or once you get this page open,
Uh huh.
you can use it also. And this is what I love from here. You
Okay.
can use this page as a trigger
That's
to
right.
start another workflow. So
Right. So
that's
the
what I'm
the
million.
trigger the trigger the PixieBrix has this for I'm gonna just give some context. The PixieBrix page editor has a trigger brick which is called trigger, and what it does, it allows you to run some extensions, some workflows on things like a page load. So if you open a page that starts with, I don't know, jira.com or contains jira.com or whatever, then you can start, like you said, other extensions, other workflows automatically. So maybe every time you create a new ticket, you also want to open a new tab to calculate something, or maybe you want to send a request to another web service, right? So by combining all these bricks and all these like triggers, you can create some like super complicated workflows. And um, I think that's for the next time, the more complicated
Yeah,
ones, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Levi. Sorry, I'm gonna take over the stream here. All right. So where were we? So we had the second use case, and the next one is okay. I think this is the end of the stream. Thanks for everyone for like logging in. It's been an incredible, almost an hour, 40 minutes on our first live stream. I hope that somebody in the chat, like I've seen a couple of questions here. I hope we gave enough answers. I hope everybody understood the basics of what we did today and where we're going to next. Of course, I want to thank Levi for your time and being an awesome user and showing us some real use cases, and especially like highlighting the 2 hours saved every day. That is a lot of time at the end of the week. And even if it's an hour, that's still like 5 hours every working day. Um, there's a question in the chat. What does Levi want to build next? Okay, that's a good question. But you know what? I'm going to announce something that I'm not supposed to announce until Monday. But since you're in the chat, for those who are tuned in live today, heads up, we're going to do a brickathon, we call it. It's a hackathon. It's basically, we're going to have a couple of weeks where people can come up with like
Oh,
cool ideas, cool extensions, cool workflows, and build them out in their own time. And then we're going to come back all at the end of the month around April 12th. I think it's our cutoff date. we're gonna celebrate everybody who built something. We're gonna play some celebration games, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna give out amazing awards. We're gonna talk with the people who build things. We're gonna celebrate and have a great time. And I think, without putting Levi under the spotlight here too much, like what is Levi trying to build next? Well, I don't know. Do you already have an answer, Levi, or do you want to give it some thought and do it at the next live stream?
Well, so I think a lot of things now to do, but one of the things that I'm trying to build, like in the next month, I have two systems, one for recruiting, another for visualizing information from this recruiting system. So basically, what I want is to have my recruiting system and a sidebar with my the visuals in real time. No? So basically, whatever we submit in the recruiting system, we can see it in real time in my visuals with the most important information.
Nice. That sounds like a very visual use case. I love those. The visual use cases are always the best. I love those. That's a great idea. So looking forward to like talk about that on the next time we meet on live or on on the. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's a link there on the screen. It says https://slack.pixiebrix.com. If you follow that link, which I have pasted earlier, I'm gonna paste it again. That's it. Oh, actually, this is just highlighting it. That link pretty much allows anyone to join and collaborate with us or like chat in our own community that's hosted on Slack. So I'm gonna post it again. Just follow that link, and if you can, join it. We'd love to have you as part of our community. If you have questions about PixieBrix, we're there to answer them. You'll find people like myself, the other people that work at PixieBrix, people like Levi. You can find a lot of cool people out there, and we are trying to keep the community as fun and lighthearted as possible. So feel free to join, and yeah, that'd be awesome. I think that's all I have for today. I wanted to say thank you, thumbs up, Levi, once again. And if you enjoyed our first live stream ever, like every good YouTuber would say, is don't forget to subscribe, like, drop a comment. I don't know, whatever y'all feel like. It would be great if you could subscribe, because then you get notified of our next live stream in a couple of weeks. And yeah, that's awesome. I'll see you in the Slack community. And with that, without further ado, have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much. See you in the next one. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.